Hey, Dinking, this is Tony coming to you today from Port St. Lucie. What I want to do today is go over some tips to help you improve as a pickleball player. What we're going to talk about today are several tips. Some are simple, some are a little more complicated, but every one of these tips will help you improve your pickleball play, your pickleball results, and hence improve you as a pickleball player. So let's get into it. This tip I want to give you is a very simple tip, but it's a very powerful tip. It involves following the ball. The ball in pickleball is the most important thing on the court. It determines whether you win the point, whether you lose the point. It determines the type of shot you hit. It determines how you move. Everything is determined by this little ball. So what we want to do is we want to learn how to follow the ball around the court with our bodies, and that means two things that I want to focus on. One is I want to make sure that when I hit a shot, particularly on the third shot, or if my partner hits a third shot, I want to make sure that I'm closing on the ball. What I don't want to do is come in straight when the ball's over to one side, or come into one side when the ball is straight. And we'll show you that in a second, how it looks in practice. The other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm turning my shoulders to the ball depending on where the ball is at. What happens a lot of times when we're playing up in the no volley zone is we stand square to the net and we don't turn our body to where the ball is coming from, or where the ball is. And so what happens is the ball can basically get behind us or create a difficult angle for us as opposed to turning towards the ball. All right, Jill and Lori are going to help me with dinking here. What I'm going to show you now is how I want to keep my shoulders squared to where the ball is. And I want to make sure that if the ball is going to Lori, I'm turning my shoulders like this and not staying like this. And if I'm hitting with Jill, I want to make sure my shoulders are square. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm working with Jill right now. So I'm square to Jill like this. As soon as I go to Lori, I turn my shoulders towards Lori because that's where the ball is going to come from. It doesn't matter what else is happening on the court except where the ball is, right? If I go back to Jill, now I turn my shoulders like this, right? And then when I go back to Lori, I turn my shoulders to her. There's two ways I can turn my shoulders to Lori. One is I keep my feet roughly parallel to the net but turn my shoulders. The other way to do it is I can open up a little bit by pulling my left foot back a little bit like this, and then I can turn my whole body. And then I go back to Jill and I turn my shoulders and my body towards her, and then back to Lori. Now what doesn't make sense is I'm dinking with Lori but keeping my shoulders like this, straight. That doesn't make any sense, right? The same way that if I was dinking with Jill and I had my shoulders turned towards Lori, that would make no sense. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your shoulders are turned to wherever the action is. Make sure your shoulders are facing wherever the action is, and you'll be able to hit better shots. Okay. Now let's look at moving where the ball's going based on a third shot. So let's assume that I'm on this side here and I'm hitting a third shot from here. And let's assume that I'm hitting it towards Jill. So I'm hitting a diagonal third shot from here. And if I hit a third shot from here and I go like this, what happens is it opens up angles behind me that I don't want to have happen. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm coming in after I hit my third shot, that I'm coming in, thank you, Lori, that I'm coming in towards the ball. So if I hit my third shot diagonally, I want to come in with the ball. Now I'm square to the ball and I can play like this. And if I go to Lori, then I turn to her. So I'm basically following where the ball is. Same thing, like if I'm on this side here and I hit a third shot towards Lori, what I don't want to do is come in like this and open up the space behind me for attack. What I want to do is if I hit towards Lori, I want to make sure that I'm coming in towards the ball. So if I hit my third shot this way, I'm basically coming in behind the ball, and boom, and now I'm in a good spot here to basically following the action and following the ball. That's a really important concept as you play pickleball. Next time you're out there, make sure that you're following the ball. So if the ball is over to your left, you're turning and moving towards your left. If the ball's to your right, you're turning and moving towards your right. Addressing the ball properly, or having your body squared to the ball, will help you hit better shots and help you improve your results. This next tip I want to talk to you about has to do with your swing. We've talked about in other videos about the backswing and the importance of having a shortened backswing. What I want to talk about is the entire swing. Again, this is a kind of a simple tip, but what I want you to do is I want you to focus on having a compact swing. By having a compact swing, you avoid errors from backswing, and you also avoid errors from just having your paddle flailing about. You want to play pickleball aggressively, but with some amount of control. So you want to play with controlled aggression. So basically, if I have a nice short backswing on most of my strokes, and I want to have a follow through, but I want to have a follow through that makes sense. I don't want to have a follow through that goes all the way around my body like this, because that normally is not going to make sense. I want to have a follow through that's good enough for the shot that I'm trying to execute and not more than that. One of the other things about your swing, if I keep a compact swing, pickleball is a really short game, right? So it's a really small distance and a fast game. So if I bring my paddle from here to here and then I can come back to ready, then I'm ready for the next shot coming back at me, potentially a slam, right? If I bring the paddle from here all the way over here, right, and then the ball comes back at me fast, I'm not ready because I'm not back at the ready position. So having a compact swing will help you avoid errors in the stroke and also help you come back to your ready position faster so that you can be ready to react to the next shot. For those two reasons, you want to make sure you have a nice compact stroke. We're going to show you in a second what that looks like, but really important to have a nice compact stroke to help improve your results. Let me show you what I mean by having a compact swing. Lori's going to feed me some balls here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple different volley techniques. First, I'm going to show you the compact swing, which is what I want you to use, like this. So it's really compact. All I'm doing is I'm taking the paddle from here and just punching that ball. So I'm big there and I'm ready. And I'm boom and I'm back to ready, right? Now if I start taking big swings, so let's say I start going like that, right? What happens is that shot can break down. That shot was either on the line or right wide. You don't want to do that. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have really compact strokes with your shots like that, as opposed to big strokes like that, where I'm taking big swings like that. Make a lot of errors with big swings like that. The other thing I want to show you is I want to show you basically my ability to come back to the ready position. If I take a short stroke, then I can come back to the ready position really quickly. Go ahead, Lori. So I take a short stroke, then I'm back to ready. As soon as I hit it, I'm back to ready. As soon as I hit it, boom, I'm back to ready. Now if I take a big stroke, then it takes me a second to get back to ready because I'm bringing the paddle all the way back. Go ahead. So I take a big stroke, then my paddle's here, I got to bring it back, right? And now Lori's at the baseline. We're just hitting, you know, kind of friendly, cooperative to demonstrate. But if Lori's up at the kitchen and I take a big swing like that, and then I don't have my paddle ready, when the next ball comes, I'm in trouble. If I take a short swing like this, I'm back to ready. Almost like when I'm done with the stroke, my paddle's pretty much ready right away. And that's what you want to do. I'll show you the compact swing on dinking and the difference on a compact stroke with dinking and a not compact stroke. So a compact stroke with dinking is like this. A dink is really just a tiny little stroke, right? So all I need is I need a little bit of motion. That's all I need to get that ball over, right? That's all I need to get that ball over. Now, if I start doing big swings like this, what happens is I'm not ready when the ball comes back. I can also make errors in terms of my timing. I pop that ball up like that. If I start going like that, what you want to do on your dinks is have really, really nice compact strokes. So, whoop, that's it right there. Usually on a dink, the paddle moves 2 to 3 inches. That's all you need. Just a little bit of a lift to get the ball over the net, nice and compact, and I'm back to ready. So you want to, if you can compact those strokes, you'll minimize errors from pop-ups and other things, and also be ready position really fast. Next time you're out there, try and compact your strokes a little bit. So if you're bringing the backswing back here, maybe bring it only to here. And your follow through, you're bringing it all the way around your body, maybe only bring it to here. Try and bring the stroke in a little more compact so that you can have a nice, more secure stroke and also get back to ready in a quicker manner. This next tip involves movement as a pickleball player. It basically involves anticipating where the pickleball is going to be before it gets to you and even before it crosses the net, so that you have more time to move around the pickleball court and get into position to hit your next shot. What you want to do to anticipate where the ball is going to go is you want to look at a few different things. One thing you want to look at is you want to look at the type of stroke that your opponent is hitting. If your opponent is hitting a ground stroke, so that your opponent is taking a full swing at the ball, and based on the type of stroke they're hitting, you expect that ball to land in half the court or further back, so you can stay back on that one. If you see your opponent, for instance, you expect them to hit a return to serve, but you see your opponent kind of come up to the ball like this with a really short swing like this, then you might anticipate a shorter shot. So you're looking at the paddle motion of your opponent combined with the type of shot that you're expecting them to hit. Same thing, if you're dinking with your opponent and your opponent is in a dink situation, so they're hitting nice little dinks, then you see nice little dink strokes. If you see your opponent all of a sudden bring the paddle back like this, you're probably going to expect that your opponent's going to hit the ball hard. That's why as you advance, being able to disguise your shot, so if you dink like this and then you can throw it hard from there, is difficult for your opponent to react to that because your opponent's not expecting it. Most of the time though, for most 3-5, 3-0, 4-0 play, 3-0, 3-5, 4-0 play, you can anticipate because usually there's giveaways based on how the paddle is moving. The other things you can look at is you can look at things like wind conditions are really important. So like right now the wind is coming in my face here. So if I was on that side of the court, I would expect the balls to go deeper. If I was on this side of the court, I expect the balls to go shorter because of the wind. One last thing you can look at for left to right is you can look at how they hit the ball. So if I hit the ball out in front like this, what's going to happen is my ball more likely than not is going to go in that direction because of the paddle angle. If I hit the ball late or behind me like this, the paddle angle now is open like this and the ball is more likely to go to my left. So based on how I hit the ball early or late, that can also give you some hints as to whether the ball is going to go to the left or to the right. We'll show you now a few examples of different anticipation ideas or concepts that you can implement, bring into your own game. But by being able to anticipate the ball, you'll be able to improve your movement. Improving your movement means that you'll get to the ball sooner, be able to hit a better shot, and improve your results. So what we're going to do now is Joe's going to hit me a couple of short balls, and then one time I'm going to move in, and the other time I'm not going to move in time, so you'll be able to see the difference. So if I don't anticipate the shot, go ahead and dink with me a little bit. So she's dinking with me a little bit here, and then now she's going to give me a short ball, and if I don't react well to it, then I'm like, oh, and then I go get it, and then I'm stretched like that, right? But now if I anticipate it better, so now if I see the ball come off her paddle short and I get there sooner, then I can hit a better shot, right? I'm moving before the ball's even cleared the net, I can move and I get the ball better. If I wait on a short ball, so if I wait and then move, then I get the ball lower and I'm out of position and I'm leaning, and it just makes for a much more difficult shot than if I get to the ball sooner than that. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to look at some volleys, and by the volleys what you're going to see Jill's paddle angle. We're going to go head on first. Jill's paddle angle should be pretty flat on both sides, or neutral, so it should be pretty much 90 degrees on the forehand and the backhand in order to hit the ball towards me. Later on I'm going to shift over there, and you're going to see how for her to hit her backhand over there, she needs to hit it out in front, so she needs to hit it like this. To hit it with her forehand over there, she's going to have to hit it a little bit like this, a little bit more open, so that she can get the ball over there. And it's really important to start learning these things so you can recognize how your opponent's paddle is moving, and that'll help you anticipate where the ball is going to go. So we're going to start going straight on, and all I'm just going to do here is flat volleys. So you can see how her paddle is fairly flat there as she tries to hit the ball straight on to me. Okay, so there it's pretty flat. Now I'm going to move over here a little bit. Now her forehand and her backhand has to change in order to hit the ball over here. See how her paddle is a little bit open there on the forehand side in order to get it to me. Backhand side, she needs to go the other way, right? In order to get it towards me, she needs to open up that paddle on the forehand or really close it on the backhand. So you can see how the paddle angle changes there. Now if I come up here and we're cross-court dinking, same thing. She has to basically, her paddle angle has to be really acute in order to get the ball over here. And I can tell kind of where the ball's going based on the way she hit it. So that time her paddle was more this way, the ball came this way. The other one, I could see her paddle turning this way more, the ball was more acute on the angle. It's a really important thing to be able to pick that up on your opponent's paddle angle so you can make an adjustment before the ball gets there. Next time you're out there, try and anticipate the shots better. In other words, try and anticipate where the ball's going to end up a little sooner, and you'll be able to get to the ball quicker. You'll be there before the ball basically crests and you can hit your shot. You'll be able to execute nicer shots and have better results. This next tip I want to talk to you about has to do with a point of contact. Every shot has what I like to call an optimal point of contact. And what I'm talking about there is if we were able to put every shot into a computer program, it would tell us hit the ball when the pickleball is right here or when the pickleball is right here, depending on the type of shot and depending on the trajectory of the ball, the speed of the ball, etc. It's very difficult as humans to always hit it on the actual optimal point of contact, but what we want to do is we want to try and get as close to that point as possible. Let me give you an example. In a dink situation, let's assume that this spot here is what we would call the optimal point of contact. So this is where I should hit the pickleball every single time that it comes into this spot. What happens as a human being, we're not going to hit the ball here. We might sometimes, but usually we're going to try and hit the ball somewhere near here is what I'm trying to do. What I don't want to do is I don't want to hit the ball too early here or too late here. What I want to do is get as close to this point of contact as possible. What happens is if I hit it too early like this, my paddle is up like this, it's open and the ball goes too high. Usually I'm going to have to lean forward some, which takes me out of balance. If I hit the ball too late, meaning the ball is way past the point of contact here, what happens is the paddle is closed is what we call this, and what can happen there is I can hit it into the net, or it makes for a really difficult shot to try and lift over the net. If I hit the ball at the optimal point of contact, which is out here, I'm going to have a nice arc on the ball and be able to dink it properly. What you want to do in every shot, from dinks to ground strokes to volleys, is try and find the optimal point of contact of the ball, which is normally going to be out in front of you a little bit, not crazy out in front of you, but a little bit out in front of you, and hit the ball there or as close to there as you possibly can. We're going to show you now, do some demos and show you how that works and how that looks when we hit it late, early, and at the optimal point of contact. All right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the real simple, we're just going to do real simple dinks. I'm going to show you basically my first dinks are going to be right here where I want to hit the ball all the time, and then I'll show you what it looks like if I go late or if I go too early on it. So these are really simple neutral dinks I'm hitting right now, but you can see I'm hitting the ball out in front, and I can control the height of my ball really easily, really simply, and then I can just lift it up really nicely because I'm hitting it in a good spot. Now let's see what happens if I go late. So if I go late, now the ball comes back here and I can't do that anymore. Let's see what that looks like again. So all I'm doing is I'm hitting the same shot, but I'm letting the ball get behind me, and the paddle is too closed and it goes into the net. I might be able to get him over, but I have to then I have to use the wrist, and those shots this shot here really breaks down, ends up popping the ball up a lot and things like that. What you want to do is you want to hit that ball nice and neutral out here. Let's see what it looks looks like now if I go too early on it. So if I go too early, that means I'm hitting it too far out in front. So now I'm hitting it too far out in front, and see how that ball's flying on me? Because I'm hitting, my paddle's too open, right? It's too up to the sky as I hit these balls. So that's too early. Now I want to go back to my normal spot, which is like that. So I want to go here. That's a good spot there. And that's a good spot there. So the point of contact on these dinks is really important, to have a really nice simple point of contact that's out in front, roughly where the optimal point of contact is, to make sure I can control all my dinks. What we're gonna do now is let's look at what it looks like in volleys. The first few volleys, I'm just gonna hit them again, a little bit here, out in front, but not too far out in front, so I can have nice control over my volleys. Here we go. So nice out in front, gives me nice control over my shot there, no problems. Nice little shot there, and I'm just hitting out in front, right? And I can control these shots there, where I wanna go. Now let's say I go late into the net, right? Or it's gonna go to my left there, and let me show you what it looks like on the backhand side. If I go late, if I hit late, it goes out. I got a ball, Lori. It goes out, and wide to the right. My right, Lori's left. So if I'm late on it, that's no good. I want it to be out in front. Let me show you what it looks like if I'm too early now. So if I'm too early, what happens is I'm reaching out like that, and I don't have control of the shot. I'm just reaching away from me like that, and I lose control. My shot breaks down, and I don't have the same kind of control over my shot. Let's see what that looks like again. So if I start reaching, let's say I start reaching out in front, too much. If I start reaching out in front, then I start losing balance. I'm reaching for everything, as opposed to letting the ball come into a better spot. For most volleys, the better spot is gonna be roughly here or here. That's gonna be a perfect spot for your volleys. I want to give you a bonus tip that's really helpful for pickleball play, which has to do with grip pressure, how you hold the pickleball paddle, how hard you hold it or how lightly you hold it. It can really influence how you play. When we talk about grip pressure, we talk about grip pressure being 1 to 10. 10 is death grip. No one holds it at 10. It would be painful to do so. 1 is the paddle's almost falling out of your hands. But what I want to focus on how you can use grip pressure to help you when you're missing serves and returns of serve, particularly when you're hitting them long, which is a common problem. What you want to do when you're serving and when you're returning serve is, if your return or your serve are going long, what you want to do is take your grip pressure and sometimes even just half it, but definitely take your grip pressure. Say you're holding it at 6 or 7, which is pretty normal when people are serving and returning because they want to hit the ball really hard. What you want to do is you take your grip pressure, you lighten it up a little bit, and what will happen is the ball will be shorter by definition without having to change your stroke, which is really important. What you don't want to do is you hit a ball long and all of a sudden you're like, hey, let me change my stroke, let me do something different. Don't change your stroke. If your stroke is working, all you want to do is take your grip, adjust the grip pressure a little bit, execute the same stroke, and your return will land in. We'll show you what that looks like. Right now the wind's a little swirly, but it's mostly coming from here. So I'm going to serve 1. Basically it's going to be the same motion. This first one I'm going to have a super tight grip pressure, right? And I'm going to do the same exact motion, but I'm going to half the grip pressure. The exact same motion. One was out by, I want to say 2 feet. The other one was in, it was close, it was on the line. But just by adjusting my grip pressure, hitting the exact same swing, the exact same speed, I was able to move the ball about 2 to 3 feet with the wind behind me. So that's what you want to learn how to do when you're serving. Let me show you what it looks like on return to serve. First return to serve, I'm going to tighten my grip pressure a lot. All right. So that was pretty close to being out. So now I want to do the same shot, but lighten my grip pressure. So that's the same shot, just lighter grip pressure, and you can see I gained about 3 feet of margin, and that's what you want to do when you're playing. If your ball goes out or it's really close to the line, you can adjust your grip pressure and make sure you have enough margin of error not to miss a return to serve. Good luck out there. Next. Why don't you like being in video? They're the best.